Committee Act, FACA. Thus, the discussion today, the presentations, the comments that are made are all on the record. There will be a public comment period at the end of the day. This will be first come, first serve. When we get to that part, we'll just ask you to come up to the microphone. We're going to ask that everybody keep it to a 2-minute limit. And the comment period is really for comments. If you have questions, those should be submitted via the website, where we've got a specific area to ask questions, and the committee can respond in public with the answers. And also for the media, if there's any members of the media here today, there will be a half-hour session at the end of today where you will have the chairman, Norm Augustine. So if the media, we ask that you not use the public comment period for your questions, because that's what the period at the end of the day is for. Also, if we don't get to you, if we have a queue at the end of the day and we don't get to all the comments, keep in mind that the committee is available essentially 24/7. We do have the website, which is http://hsf.nasa.gov. You can ask questions, provide comments, upload documents, and believe me, thousands of people have availed themselves of that capability, so please do that. Transcripts and the video will be available on that website as soon as we can get them up there. It usually takes about a week, but if you want to view the video stream, you can, and also written transcripts will be made available. Please do not interrupt the presentations or the committee members during the discussion. This is a public meeting, but we've got a lot of work to do, and we'd like to get through those deliberations as quickly as possible, and that's why we've carved out the time for the public comment period. Also, just the hotel wanted to make an announcement that the restaurant in the hotel has made a buffet for members of the public and the government here for $10. So if you want to avail yourselves of that, the hotel restaurant is set up to take advantage of that. And now, Chairman Norm Augustine.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for your presence today and your interest in the subject. A particular thank you for the input we received from many in this room, and as Phil said, many others. We have really had an outpouring of interest in this undertaking, perhaps more so than most any other undertaking of the type that I've ever been involved in. We've had numerous comments, suggestions, unfortunately most of it contradictory, but that's our job. We do have a full agenda today. As Phil said, we will have time for public comments. We wish we had more time, but I hope you'll understand the predicament. I'm not going to introduce my colleagues in order to save time, but I think you know most of them, and we've got name tags up here, which hopefully you can see. In the way of reporting what's been taking place since our last public meeting, we've had a number of preparatory sessions for this meeting, and a number of visits to various locations. We have sought independent outside input. Our committee has employed the Aerospace Corporation to do some work for us so that we can go into depth that's not possible for the 10 of us to do, either because of time or competence, probably. As you heard, we have a website, we have emails, I think we're even Twittering now, and my hope is that we will continue to receive inputs from those who have an opinion or a suggestion to share. Our charter gave us 90 days for this task, and I should say that the reason for that was that there's a budget that's going to go together about 90 days from now, and the White House had requested some input, or an input from us before then, our final report by then. So the schedule we're on is to 90 days, at the end of 90 days, which is the end of August, to provide a draft, a final draft, if you will, ready for formal printing. Printer ready, if you want, of our report. So the actual report will be out sometime, hopefully shortly after the 31st of August, although it will be available in informal form at about that time. I would emphasize that our role is to offer options to the White House and to the administrator of NASA. We have not been asked to make a specific recommendation. That's a bit unusual. On the other hand, it has a benefit that we really have the opportunity to try to weigh and balance the various options as objectively as we know how to do, and we don't have to defend any particular option. We have organized ourselves into a number of work groups, really 4 primary groups that I will just take a moment to describe. One is the group that is addressing a couple of very underlying important problems or issues that that impact various issues downstream, and those are, as you could guess, one is the shuttle and its fly-out and future. Second is the ISS and its future, and both these things impact everything else, both in a technical sense and also certainly in a budgetary sense. That's one of the challenges we faced, is these things are also interconnected. A second group we have set up is addressing what we call in short form Earth to Leo, which I think is self-explanatory, but it is looking at options well into the future, and in each case, of course, our baseline option is the existing option that's being pursued to date. The third group is, not surprisingly, the Beyond Leo group, looking at not only destinations, but we've tried to begin with objectives and goals. What is it we would like to accomplish? Is it science? Is it to establish the U.S. as a spacefaring nation? Is it to strengthen the economy? What is the purpose? And then out of that, to try to define missions and objectives. And as you will hear, probably not today, but as will be covered at a subsequent meeting, the various destinations we've been looking at, but it's a fairly broad list. And finally, an integration group that's addressing the issue of trying to pull all this together and presenting it in a reasonable fashion. Will be addressing what we've called commercial roles of commercial suppliers, particularly of Earth to low Earth orbit, launch capacity. It will be addressing international considerations, our partners, both in the present program and possible future programs. And it will also be addressing the relationship of what NASA is asked to do with what others in our country need and are doing in this general area. And obviously that would refer primarily to the Department of Defense. Today is the first of a 3-day series of meetings, and today we'll be focusing to a considerable degree on the first of those subcommittees' reports. That group is chaired by Sally Ride, and later on around noon we'll be hearing that group's findings. We will be going from here to Huntsville and then to the Cape this week and having similar meetings and covering subsequent subcommittees just according to how the schedule happens to work out. I would emphasize that because of the FACA rules, what's FACA stand for?
Federal Advisory Committee Act.
Thank you. That because of those rules, we have really not had the opportunity to talk to each other than subgroup by subgroup in terms of trying to come up with any sort of recommendations or specific options at this point. So most of what you hear today, we too will be hearing for the first time, because since our last public meeting, our efforts have been conducted by the subgroups, and they've been traveling widely, talking to a huge number of people, reading an awful lot of emails, and so forth. The schedule, as I've said, is to have a printer-ready report on August 31st. That gives us exactly 35 days to go. As you can imagine, 90 days isn't a very long period of time for a task like this, particularly when most of us have other responsibilities, and we didn't know we were going to be doing this till sort of the last minute. Nonetheless, you can be assured that we're giving this number one priority in our lives and for this period of time and devoting a great deal of attention to the issues. I would like to caution the audience and those with whom we all may communicate that we will be asking a lot of hard questions. That's what we're, I think, paid to do. And the fact that we're asking hard questions, controversial questions, and that we may even be a bit cantankerous in trying to draw out information, please don't take that as a view that any of us hold individually or collectively. We're trying to gain knowledge, so we hopefully could do the right thing when all is said and done. So please don't assign too much significance to the nature of the questions today. When we get near the end of August, that would be a more appropriate thing to do. And I guess that I would just say that one of my beliefs has always been that the difference between a great program manager and a good program manager is reserves. And I've just gained our committee 15 minutes of reserve. And so with that, we're 15 minutes ahead of schedule, Sally. And but the first thing we want to do today is I should have thanked our host too from NASA here for all your courtesies, not only today but all the information you've provided to us. I think I could speak fairly for the committee that we couldn't have asked for more in terms of responsiveness.